Imagine building a fully functional web app without writing a single line of code. This is Google Firebase Studio, which is now fully AI enabled, letting anyone from entrepreneurs to designers build and launch dynamic web apps with just a few prompts. In this video, I'm going to show you how Firebase Studio works, what makes it so powerful, and how you can start building beautiful, scalable web apps in minutes with zero coding experience. So when we go into Firebase Studio, we're greeted with this really nice UI, really clean prompt editor, which is what we're going to use to prototype an app. Within the prompt editor, we have a few templates which we can use, such as a tipping calculator or recipe generator. And underneath, we can start a coding app. So we can add a new workspace, we can import a repo from GitHub, or we can create a new workspace centered entirely around something like Node Express or Astro or GenKit or .NET. So I'm going to go ahead and use a prompt to prototype an app. The app I'm going to try and build is an app for listing AI tools. I'm telling it that the main page should show a list of categories with very short descriptions of each category. Within each category, have at least 2 example AI tools, and the design should be clean and modern and use dark mode. So once we're ready with our prompt, we select prototype with AI, and then it kind of takes over and it will build your app out. You'll see first what it believes you've asked for. So it will have a breakdown of the main features, which in this case is a categorized AI tool listing and a dark mode toggle, which maybe isn't exactly what I meant, but this is AI, so it's just taking an interpretation of my prompt, and we can always change that later if we don't like it. And you can make more edits here using the prompt system at the very bottom, or we can just go ahead and prototype the app based on the blueprint it's given us. So once you press the prototype button, it usually takes about 30 to 40 seconds to actually generate the app. It can take some time. But before you know it, it's done, it's checked for errors, and now you have your fully functional app that you asked for. And now the first thing I want to change is that because the page feels a bit blank and I don't like the lack of symmetry in the categories, I'm going to ask it to add 5 more categories of AI tools, and we can do that again in the prompt system in the bottom right. So there we go, we've got our new categories, they look great, they've got examples just like we wanted, and now it looks very symmetrical and nice. And what you can also do is, if you don't want to use the prompt system, you can select the Firebase icon next to the prompt line and actually draw on the page. So in this case, I'm going to try and change the background. So I'm just going to draw an arrow to the background and write in text, make the background very dark blue. And you can also do more complex drawings if you want, and draw circles around specific cards and say make these different colors, and it will do that too. And then once you select send drawing, it will send that drawing to the AI, and the AI will then work on that and rebuild the code to make the changes. If you want to be a bit more granular and exact, you can use the selector at the top here on the very left side to highlight individual elements on the page. So we can go through and we can highlight individual elements such as the background or different text elements or the cards itself, and then use that to then suggest changes to the AI. Another really cool feature here is that they have this share function. So you can actually share it and make the app public, and then it will give you a QR code. So you can scan that QR code with your phone and view it on the web as a live app to not only see how it functions and performs, but also understand how it's responsive on different devices and screen types. But if you do actually have coding experience and you want to dive into the app itself and make changes yourself to the code, you can select the edit code option, and that takes you to the Explorer, which breaks down the entire app page by page, and you can make individual changes to each line of code or a particular page, such as the CSS styling. And within the Explorer, you can also still make use of the prompt system. So you can still prompt the AI to make changes to the actual code. And there's a lot of flexibility because you can even choose within the prompt which Gemini model you'd like the AI to actually use when it comes to generating these changes. Now, if you'd like to switch back to viewing your app, you can just select the web tab at the very top, and it will go back to showing you the live preview of your app. And then it's easy to kind of switch back and forth to inform your decisions on what you want to change within the code base. Now, you could spend all day on this and use it as a fully fledged platform to completely build out your app, get all the features you want, make all the subtle changes, add hero images, get the design just right, add all the navigation bars and stuff. Or you can just use it simply as a prototype and an MVP. But once you're ready to publish, if you select the publish button in the top right, because it's Firebase, it's so quick to publish. You simply just click next, you link a cloud billing account, and then you're basically set up and ready to go. Another really interesting thing that Firebase offers is AI agents to test your app. So they use AI agents to emulate real users so you can better understand how people would actually use your app, the issues they might face, the workflows they might have, and Firebase now really has everything to support you through from the prototyping phase, testing, and launching an app. So it'll be really interesting to see what people come up with and how they end up using AI in Firebase like this, and how it ends up stacking against similar platforms and similar ways of using AI to code. If you're looking at starting to use Firebase, I would definitely try a few of those templates that we saw at the very beginning, because it lays out kind of the functionality and all the different things you can do with Firebase and the complexity of some of the apps that can be built. If you do end up building any apps yourself with Firebase, I'd love to take a look, so please drop a link in the comments.